Glovebox Live's Nick John interviews blues guitarist Erja Lyytinen.
Used to be so very heartless, going out in a fancy dress, party champagne and caviar. No one could have your heart, confidence your second name. This lioness you couldn't tame. You were used to holding all the cards. You were the queen of hearts. Stolen hearts, stolen hearts. Stolen hearts, stolen hearts.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. This is another interview for Glovebox, and I'm here today, this afternoon, in the wilds of Somerset with Finland's finest exponent of the blues, Erja Lyytinen. Erja, good afternoon.
Thank you, Nick.
Firstly, did I pronounce your name correctly?
Erja Lyytinen. That was pretty good.
Okay,
Some people, they can roll their tongue, say Erja, because it's like Erja. It's more thinking of Spanish way.
Okay.
But Erja, I'm totally fine with that. Erja Lyytinen, that's cool.
You must have heard so many different
yes, I have,
variations.
But it's okay. As long as it's written right, then it's good.
That's good. Well, I know we've been trying to get this interview for some time, since I saw you back on the UK tour last year. But I think the timing is good now, because we're on the cusp of the UK launch of your new album, Stolen Hearts.
That's right. It was just recently released on 7th April. And well, the Scandinavian release was a bit earlier, but yeah, it is. We are here right now starting the UK tour, and it feels very exciting. You've got a sort of
official launch in a couple of days' time at the 100 Club in London.
Yes, that's right. That's a very legendary club, and I'm really looking forward to going there, back there. I've done some recordings there earlier. We did live in London there a couple of years ago, and like I said, it's a very atmospheric place, and right in the middle of the vibrant and busy Oxford Street in London. So I'm really looking forward to having a launch party there, and yeah, it's amazing. I've been totally blown away about the feedback I've been receiving from the album. And it's been getting great reviews, and people love the songs, and they love the variety of the songs. And still, it's like there's a lot of diversity on the songs. This is what I hear. But still, it's like a one coherent whole album that works as a piece itself.
Your last studio album was The Sky's Crying. So that was the Elmore James.
That's
right. The last studio one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the last. But that was like,
ago.
It was a tribute album. So in that way, it was a bit different, you know.
So was this a view with the new album? Was this a view to getting back, sort of writing your own material and getting more of your own songs?
Yeah, this was really fascinating, actually, after all these years. The album before The Sky is Crying was called Forbidden Fruit. And on that album, I had my original songs and a couple of cover songs. But now I had a chance to go to a recording studio, and I had a bunch of songs that I felt that I really need to record, and they work well together. And yeah, the time was just right, but I did wait quite a long time. That was 4 years between the last original album and actually now it's plainly just original songs on the Stolen Hearts. It's 11 songs written by me or my co-writer partner Alan Darby or Davide Floreno, and it's been quite a ride, actually, while looking back on the process of how this album started and how it's been finished and everything between there. It was quite a journey, I have to say.
And how did you get Chris Kimsey?
How did I get Chris Kimsey?
I mean, the man's a legend.
I know. And yeah, so I was doing the backing tracks in Helsinki at the Sonic Pump Studios. And then I was thinking that, okay, I want to do something different with this album. I really believed in the songs I had in my hands. So I was pondering, should I go abroad and finish the guitars and vocals there and do the mixing there? And I was thinking of different options. And so I wanted to really take a jump out of the cliff. and I've always been a bit of a risk taker. But especially now, it felt just good timing and I got to ask from a friend of mine, Alan Darby, who's been writing songs with me for 4 years since Forbidden Fruit came out, and I asked like if he could recommend me somebody that might suit for my style, and somebody who would get along. Could get along well, and he immediately answered me, Chris Kimsey. When you sleep there, I want to feel your skin, I want to smooth your hair, wake you with the keys. Do you feel the unbreakable synthesis? Immediately he went like, yeah, I love this stuff, great songs, great guitar, whatever, and yeah, let's do it. And then we started to look at the time schedule. My UK tour starting in October, and everything was really pushing, and we had a crowdfunding campaign coming in, and everything was happening at the same time. And I was trying to, practice all the lyrics and pronunciation for Chris, and practice my guitar parts, and I really made a huge effort on the guitar on this album, and I think that was the deal breaker, really, that I had such a rehearsed parts that I was able to deliver in the studio.
So you did a lot of sort of pre-production work before going into the studio?
Yes, I did.
With Chris?
Yeah. So. But actually I cut in the end I ended up cutting all the guitar parts in Helsinki because it just went really fluently. I had a great engineer there, Lauri Hamalainen, at Sonic Pump Studios, and we did all the guitars like in 5 days or something like that. It went just really smoothly and fast, and so in the end I ended up only doing the vocals with Chris. But that was such a fruity labor, really, if you can put it that way.
Yeah.
Fruits of a labor.
It must make you raise your game when you're working with someone like that, somebody who's got that track record in the industry.
You don't want to just go there and just sing. You wanna nail every track. And what I really loved about the way he worked was that he allowed me to tell the story in the booth. And of course we have parts when we just, okay, let's just do this a verse or whatever, just sing those 2 lines now and so on. But it was really relieving to enjoy the moment. And this is what he used, this is the word he used a lot. You need to enjoy it, Erja. This is what he said to me many times. Like, yes, I am. I'm thrilled and I'm enjoying here. I'm singing the same booth where Tina Turner used to sing, probably. So, because the studio we used, the state-of-the-art studio, it's very famous home studio, boutique studio by...
And I read the desk was it the original desk he'd recorded the Stones on?
That's right. Yeah. It was imported from the Bate Marconi Studios, France, if I remember the name right now. But yeah, it's an old EMI console. Yeah. You broke my shield, entering the danger zone. Still I treated you wrong. Couldn't trust that together we could be so strong.
Now it's a question that you've probably been asked 100 times, but how, why, where did you start playing?
Well,
what led you to the blues?
Since a kid, there have always been a lot of music playing in our house. I'm the middle sibling of the three kids in the house, and mother and father are both musicians. Mother is a bass player, and she was also since 60s doing the bookings for the band and stuff. Yeah. What I do nowadays, which is like really, it's funny. It's 50 years later, boom. And father is a guitar player, and they both are brilliant singers. They are retired now, but they still have that music in them.
So you were born into that world, weren't you?
Yes, I was completely. World, Yes, and I do remember that we had those sessions where I sang, and father was playing guitar, and I really enjoyed of the joy of the music that entered my soul in some way. It was physical, spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not probably mental. That's a different meaning. But nowadays it's a bit mental and freaky.
Yeah.
We get crazy on stage.
I was going to say that's guitar solo.
Yeah.
That's your favorite guitar solo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had heard a lot of different music, and rock was, of course, one of the essentials. We will listen to Deep Purple and Lynyrd Skynyrd and Uriah Heep and what else? Eagles, all these old great rock bands, and Zeppelin, of course, and Rolling Stones. And in some point, I went to conservatory to learn violin when I was 7 years old, and when I became a teenager, I wanted to play guitar. So then I picked up my father's electric guitar, and I was around 14 or 15. I had already quit the violin playing, and classical music wasn't my interest anymore. And so from there on, that was my goal. I had any other intention in my life. And this is the way it's been. Like nowadays, when I'm a mother myself, I'm thinking like, okay, what kind of future I want my kids to have? And you go like, okay, maybe musician's life isn't the easiest one. But if you have that inner fire, it is really hard to put it down.
Yeah.
When the time comes, maybe I will find the place. There's peace and joy. There'll be no more shadows on my face. The voice just sticks inside of you, knowing things you're going through. No exceptions, you knew the rules. It always...
I think it's tough being creative nowadays. You know, whatever it is, poetry, sculpting, painting, musician. I think it's difficult to live a creative life, but if it's in you, it should be expressed.
What can you do?
You have to keep going with it, and it's not going to be financially secure, and it's not going to be easy.
No.
And there's always it's always something to do.
But then again, you talk to people, and you talk to regular people. So many people are struggling with different things in their lives and different economical situations. Not just musicians and art makers. It's just like, as long as you enjoy what you're doing, at least like, let's just say like 70% you love it.
Yeah.
That's great, you know. It's a good percentage.
Well, when I've seen you playing live, you've always got a beam on your face. Like, I just love this. Whether you have that at 3 o'clock in the morning as you're driving, or when you're driving on this tour from here to Durham,
Yes.
you may not be smiling quite so broadly.
There's going to be a rink on my
I saw you
corner of my eye.
I saw you last year, and you played. I can't remember which song it was in. I thought it was a really cool moment. You came off stage, playing a solo, and you came and you wandered amongst the crowd, chatting happily to them while you played, and you ended up at the bar, sitting on the bar stool, still playing. You ordered a shot of something from behind the bar.
Let's just put it this way. It did contain alcohol.
Yes, I'm sure it did. You downed it in one and then played the rest of the slide solo using the glass. And I remember thinking, that's cool. That's kind of cooler than Motley Crue or any of that bunch. I thought, no, fair play. Well, look, it's been fantastic. Thank you very much for talking to us. It's been lovely to spend some time with you. I'm really looking forward to the show tonight. First night of the tour, so you've got the UK tour stretching ahead of you. All
Yes.
those miles in the bus.
Yes.
But there's going to be some great shows, and I hope it all goes well, and really looking forward to hearing the songs off the new album.
Thanks, Funny.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The queen of a soul in her eyes.
That was a broadcast production by gloveboxlive.com.